The war on poaching in Namibia has taken a new turn. At the beginning of August, the Ministry of Environment and Tourism launched its Anti-Poaching Unit. The unit will be led by retired Nampol Commissioner Ndahangwapo Kashihakumwa. Apart from this, a new law stipulates that suspects found guilty of poaching qualify for a $25 million bail or 25 years imprisonment. For second-time offenders, the sum and sentence term doubles. The police anti-poaching unit has since June this year arrested 48 people for alleged rhino poaching. Despite significant efforts from both the private and public sector, the fight on poaching is far from over. Since last year, 80 rhinos have been killed. As for elephants, mortality stands at 82 this year. And yet, government remains silent on how many of these graceful creatures are still left in the wild. Tonight we speak to Commander Ndahangwapo Kashihakumwa about their renewed efforts to safeguard the remaining rhino and elephant population. Good evening and welcome to your favorite current affairs show, One Exclusive. I'm your host, Joseph Shifeni. I'm joined in studio by the head of the newly established anti-poaching unit, Ndahangwapo Kashihakumwa. Welcome, Commander.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell us about the unit that you will be leading and the role that it will play in eradicating poaching?
The functions of the newly established unit known by name Anti-Poaching Unit under the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, it was basically established with one reason, and that reason is to take care of the wildlife in our national parks in terms of safety and protection in whatever form. When you talk about our national parks, you are referring to Etosha National Park, you are referring to Mbobata National Park, and the rest of the places within our country. It came as a result after the ministry and the government find it out that these endangered species are being slaughtered by individuals or a group of people, being Namibians, being foreigners, with their own gains. And as a result, the Ministry of Environment and Tourism under Honorable Minister Pohamba Shifeta decided to appoint me while I was on retirement to see whether together we can change this kind of situation which is facing our country, particularly our government nowadays, with the colleagues who were already in the system. Yes, the Namibian police force did a very good job after they were deployed in those national parks by the Inspector General, Lieutenant General Sebastian Naitota-Ndaitunga, as well as the Namibian Defense Force. Now, what is happening now is that we have a joint operations with all those constitutionally established organizations, Namibian Defense Force, Namibian Police Force, to make sure that we face that situation head on and reduce what's currently happening in terms of a wildlife crime which is being committed by the human beings.
We know that there's already been an anti-poaching unit within the Namibian police, which you led before, and now the new one in the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, you are leading that one too. How will the current one that you are leading differ from the old one?
There's a difference between the two. Different in the sense that the first one was not that, anti-poaching per se. Yes, it was anti-poaching because it was headed by the Namibian Police Force. But the current one, it's an anti-poaching unit under the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. Meaning, if we managed, which I'm 100% sure, and I have confidence that we will definitely win this battle, this war, the police at the end of the day, they will withdraw. And then the anti-poaching unit under the Ministry of Environment and Tourism will remain. Again, I should also confirm or defend the reason why I said there's a difference between the two. Previously, we did not have a trained anti-poaching unit under the Ministry of Environment. So now, the one which I'm currently heading, it will be trained. Of course, we have got members who are currently, undergoing anti-poaching training courses. And as soon as we are done...
Are you training those members?
Yeah. So as soon as we are done, by that time I'm sure that we'll definitely, on top of the situation in terms of poaching, anti-poaching, and then the police probably will then withdraw and go and do other national duties, as they usually do. Then that anti-poaching unit under the Ministry of Environment and Tourism will take over and lead the operations. So
it's the same anti-poaching unit, it's just that this time around it's been moved into the Ministry of Environment.
Yes, I should say yes, but the two forces, national forces, are still there, because we are still busy with the trainings and all those kind of things. So as the time goes, the situation will definitely dictate and tells or guides us as to what to do at that particular time, whether we should continue with the colleagues from NAMPO and NDF, or we should then take over and face the situation as an anti-poaching unit under the Ministry of Environment.
One of the reasons why you were chosen for this job is for the role that you played in ending poaching in Etosha National Park. Can you tell us how exactly did you manage to achieve that?
I have heard from other people saying that, but I could also confirm that, because when I left Etosha National Park and retired as a police regional commander for Shana, during my 3 months, in Etosha National Park, there was not even a single report of poaching took place.
In 3 months?
In 3 months. And the reason, to answer to your question as to what probably made me to succeed or to win that kind of a battle or a war, it was because of the members of the public. As long as you have a strong backup of the members of the public, the community at any given area, in any given situation, in a given war, you will always remain victorious, because these are the cornerstone of everything. Because in the first place, the poachers are not, from anywhere. These are human beings from other human beings. They came from the members of the public, the communities, and when they, done with their criminal activities, they always go back to the same people. So now, for you to know them better, you start where? You start from the community. You start from the members of the public. Until, and that's the information which will definitely lead you and take you to, or if not closer, it will be amongst themselves. And then you would know that, these are the kind of strategies, these are the kind of tactics, these are the kind of methods they are using or they used to commit crimes in terms of poaching and so forth and so forth. Meaning, I'm always, my belief, and I'm strongly believe in that before I do anything, especially when it's come to this kind of situation, I have to go to the members of the public, capture their minds, establish a very good relationship, explain to them the reason why we are fighting against poachers and poaching, educate them, make them understand, and eventually they will definitely understand and start joining us, and eventually they start providing the information we need.
So that's your approach to basically to make the public aware of the importance of conserving these endangered species?
We always go for awareness campaign.
Hasn't that been done before by
That's exactly what the same similar style, similar method I have used when I was in Etosha. And that's what made me to achieve what I have achieved at that time.
And it was effective back then?
It was very much extraordinarily effective. And I still believe that I will follow the same procedure, same method, so that I will see whether it will take me to where it took me that time. And definitely, I'm sure, it will definitely take me there.
You speak of collaborating with communities. In many instances, we've seen communities, especially those that reside close to national parks, being assisting syndicates, that commit these crimes.
Oh yes, yes. Nobody can dispute about that. It happened. You know why it happened? In any war, it always depends on the two parts. It's always depending between the two parts. If you act slowly, if you disrespect and ignore the members of the public or the communities, definitely you are expecting the other part to take over, to capture their minds and pull them on their side. And then they will start saving in their interest. So ours is to rush quickly, get to them, start with the awareness campaign, start with education, start, we explain everything to them. We establish a very good and excellent kind of relationship between them until they understand who we are and what we are trying to achieve, which is always in the interest of the people of this country, in the interest of this country and the government. So therefore, the main notion here is to make sure that we separate the two. Remove the members of the public from the side of the poachers. We keep them on our side, and then we isolate the poachers. Once they are being isolated, they become weak, and once they become weak, they will no longer have any strength, no room, no accommodation anywhere, no informations, and as a result, we will then now know as to who are the culprits. And then there the law will take its costs.
What about the foreigners? So some of these culprits I've discovered are actually foreigners.
Yes, foreigners are there because of Namibians.
Then how will you deal with
we deal with the Namibians first. While we are dealing with the Namibians, one of the Namibians will tell us as to who are the foreigners who are taking part in this kind of criminalities. So once we know them, and then we follow the normal procedures, the already existing procedures, and then the law will take cost. We apply the law. The police officers are there, and nothing difficult with that. So therefore, yeah.
We know that poaching activities subsided in 2009 and picked up again in 2013. Can you tell us what led to the increase, in your opinion?
Well, in the first place, you talk about economical imbalances. People who are being, or who became, say, for example, cheaper to be used, are those who are struggling because of unemployment. They are being, and those foreigners who are, one can say, they are smart. When they come here, they look for those who are stranded. They look for those who are seeking for, whatever kind of assistance. And then they come up with an idea of introducing them to a situation of getting, or how one can, benefit or get money. And if you have got somebody who is running, throughout the day with an empty stomach, what do you expect from that particular person? You are expecting that particular person to be, used by foreigners who have got an access into, in terms of monetary. So it's our duty as Namibians to try to educate our people and try also to, whoever get work somewhere and you're able to even to employ one or two, you should do that so that we eliminate a situation of having our youngsters, running or roaming around our streets, because these are the people who are being used. If you go to the statistic, the majority of those who are being used and involved in poaching are the youngsters of your age or less than your age.
So what you're saying is that unemployment
it's also contributing
leads to an increase in poaching?
It is. Those boys want money. They want to survive.
Many of these syndicates, some of whom were arrested, were building big houses and so on, and all of a sudden obtained wealth. How will your approach be towards this? Because some of them are in prison and yet they are still building wealth.
Namibian government is one of the best government, I should say, and and Namibia is a country. It's a country with very good and positive laws. We have got a law which is called POCA. If you take part in criminalities, and then the investigators who are authorized or given a mandate and powered by the law of this country to investigate and get the credible evidence that you are involved in A or B, they can always go back. They can go to the PG, they can go to the law and apply POCA. POCA can actually, take everything you have if you don't have any proof how you have obtained or acquired those, properties, so that they will be, forfeited by the state. So now, if there are those who are involved in that, and they find themselves with a number of houses, as we are hearing, some have got big houses, a lot of cars, Mercedes-Benz, Land Cruisers, and what have you, name them. That time will come. That's why they say there is no a single government in the world which move fast. Government always moves slowly. But no matter how many years it takes, it will get there, and it will get you, or it will get me.
We know that those caught poaching and so on will face a hefty fine of 25 million Namibian dollars. Will that have an effect?
Well, definitely yes. It should have an effect. Who want to or prepared to involve in poaching, knowing that if you get caught, there's no way you're going to get that amount of money. The only solution to that is for you to refrain from involving in poaching, because the moment the law enforcers get you and they do what they are expected to do in terms of the law of this country, and then eventually probably found guilty by our competent court of law, if you don't have that amount, you're going to rotten behind bars.
The Ministry of Environment and Tourism has been unable to give us an indication of how many rhinos roam Namibia. Do you happen to know the official number, and is there a specific reason as to why they are not divulging such information to the public?
I don't want to enter in that one, because I do not know the reason why the ministry does not do that, and I don't want to answer on behalf of our minister.
Earlier you spoke of Namibia doing considerably well when it comes to conserving these animals, even better than other SADC countries. Where do our strengths lie? Where does our strength lie?
Namibia and Namibians are very good people. The reason why people used to say Namibians are peaceful and loving people or loving nation If you go probably and approach those who would provide you with the correct and update statistics of the Namibians who are involved in all criminalities, they are very few in comparing with other countries. Secondly, or additional to that, the reason why some of us, we always feel proud to say, if we want to get somewhere and we would like to get something, we go back to our people. It's because our people like the truth and they respect the truth. And the majority of them are law-abiding citizens. So therefore, our people are not, the number which involved in criminality, I should say, are very less in comparing with other countries or neighboring countries.
Tell us about the arrest rate recorded by your ministry this year.
Well, it's unfortunate I did not prepare myself on that one, and I do not want to contradict with what has been provided by the ministry.
Lastly, we've almost come to the end of the program. What message do you have for members of the public as well as members of your unit out there?
I just would like to urge all Namibians, irrespective of their color of the skin, irrespective of their political ideology or beliefs, irrespective of their economical status, to join hands. To join hands and remain vigilant, so that whenever they come across something which they are suspecting to be either or it smells or it has got an element of crime or criminalities, they should immediately report to the nearest police stations or police offices or any government officials or any traditional authority or whoever one trusts, because every individual always has got somebody he or she trusts in our society. Provided you know that the person you provide or you entrust to such an information should be a person who definitely handle that information with care, and confidentiality should play a role there, so that tomorrow you might not find yourself in danger. We will be available 24 hours. My number remains as usual. I did not change my number for more than 27 years now. And whoever wants to provide information anytime, any moment, at any place, he or she can always call me.
Can you tell us about the relationship between the unit and stakeholders? Like the Save the Rhino Trust, for example?
It's very, very, I should say 100%. 100%. Even today, I'm being invited by Anti-Poaching, one of the bodies, to attend the auctioning which they're going to have tonight at Country Club.
Is that the sculpture, is it?
That's right. And the majority of them, they used to call, and we are in a very good relationship.
But how important are efforts such as that in conserving rhinos?
The importance. Well, the importance here is that firstly, you should go back and find out as to how many one rhino horn costs. If you hear the amount cost one, rhino horn, that one can tell you that when you talk about rhinos being killed in this country, you talk about millions, and you talk about something which is to do with the economy of this country. The government and the country is losing the rhinos, and it's you and I who are expected to unite and protect those rhinos and the rest of the endangered species in this country.
Right. Currently, figures are decreasing when it comes to the number of rhinos being killed in the country. And with you now in charge of the new unit at the ministry, is this going to continue? Are we going to be seeing positive results soon?
That one I have no doubt. I have no doubt, because I have received a number of calls from a very big number of Namibians, especially the law-abiding citizens, who have shown their interest and seriously committed that with the decision taken by Honorable Minister Pohamba Shweta to appoint a person who is currently talking to you, they will be always ready to give hands, give the information, and make sure that those who are involved are arrested. Or with another word, the law take its cost. If you have such a response from the community, from the members of the public, then one should not have any doubt. Should always say yes. Just give us time. It's a matter of time. I'm sure that within 3 to 4 months you will hear the results, and that result or those results will be positive, not negative. If the poachers want to challenge us as a joint team of NAMPO, NDF, and MET, fine, they can always do that. But the result will tell. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, they will regret.
Let me thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
And that is all we have for you tonight. Be sure to share your views with us on our social media pages or by texting them to the number 555. From me, Joseph Shifeni, it's goodbye.